Let's talk about why the best ghost shows are on YouTube. Ghost investigation is a very well-established genre of entertainment. However, there's an aspect of ghost investigation shows on traditional media that I think is crucial and missing in making a supremely entertaining ghost show: humility. And I'll explain exactly what I mean by comparing and contrasting a traditional TV ghost show and a YouTube ghost series. When you think of iconic ghost investigation TV show, you think of Zach Bagans' Ghost Adventures. And when you think of iconic ghost YouTube series, you think The Watcher's Ghost Files, aka previously known as BuzzFeed's Unsolved, with Shane Madej and Ryan Bergara. In terms of format, the shows are actually very similar. Please hear me out. Let me cook. We start off with a brief backstory of the investigation site. The investigators then go room by room looking for any ghost activities. Each new room or setting they choose to investigate is given an explanation on why that particular room is haunted. It can be historical events that occurred, or just a heavy number of people who have claimed heavier activity in that particular area. But now let's talk about the differences. In Ghost Adventures, Zach Bagans is the star of the show. There are other co-stars, but this is very much the Zach Bagans show. Additionally, everyone in the cast believes in ghosts, and it's not a question of whether or not ghosts exist. The show is purely about trying to find evidence of ghosts in whatever location they're filming at, and the show is actively trying to scare you. There are shots where objectively nothing is going on, but they still try to scare you with sound effects and camera shots. In this shot, a camera suddenly pans to a car, accompanied with a jump scare sound.
A very serious problem. You see, a few weeks ago,
there was nothing special about the car. That scene was just there to scare the viewer, which is fine because that's entertainment, but it's not like it adds any validity to ghosts. It's also been shown that Zach just straight up lies. In Danny Gonzalez's video where he tries ghost hunting for himself, the staff revealed that Zach just straight up lied that the Stanley Hotel kept mattresses that people died on.
No,
so funny.
We're an operating hotel, and believe it or not, we switch out mattresses every once in a while.
So Zach Bagans and his crew apparently just showed up and like looked through the window of the carriage house, saw mattresses, and were like, hey, let's go make some stuff up in there.
Which brings me to my main criticism of traditional media's take on ghost investigation shows. They take ghost hunting way too seriously. They'll do and say anything to make the show scarier. And at the end of the day, ghosts have yet to be 100% proven. I'm just saying we haven't captured and/or scientifically observed one. But hey, the world once thought pandas were a mythical creature, and now we can see them being the biggest ops to their own well-being in a zoo. Imagine having such a bad riz your species goes extinct. Now let's talk about The Watcher's Ghost Files. The series co-lead, Ryan Bergara, believes in ghosts, and he's kind of the Zach Bagans of the show, explaining the backstory and actively looking for evidence. But now I'm going to circle back around to my main argument for why I think YouTube has better ghost investigation shows than traditional media: humility. And in this series, humility takes the form of Shane Madej. Shane Madej is the other co-lead of Ghost Files. However, what makes him different is that he is an absolute 100% skeptic. The best we can ever get from him is an "I don't have an explanation for that." Whereas shows like Ghost Adventures are actively trying to scare you, Shane keeps the viewers and Ryan grounded. Anything that's seemingly paranormal occurs, Shane comes up with an explanation that's at least as valid as a ghost did it. Now, if you don't know Ryan and Shane's dynamic, I can understand how that might come off as annoying. Just two people with two different beliefs butting heads all the time. But that's not the dynamic. Sure, neither is willing to bend to the other person's belief, but they still both work together to try to collect ghost evidence. And ironically enough, it's Shane's skepticism that drives him so much to find evidence. And he's not a jerk about it. I mean, yeah, he bullies Ryan, but they're actual friends. When he's confronted with a stranger about their experience or a fan submission, he listens, doesn't interrupt, and respectfully offers another perspective or explanation. And Ryan isn't too narrow-minded or tunnel vision of his belief in ghosts either. Unlike those other ghost TV shows that take everything way too seriously, Ryan knows when something is just stupid.
Nerd.
God damn it. When ghost hunting, you're going to end up with something that looks, sounds, or just is ridiculous. And while TV shows might cut that part out because it ruins the immersion, Ghost Files runs headfirst into the comedy and absurdity of the situation. Yeah, this is a series about trying to prove ghosts exist, but it keeps its humility because it knows how absurd some parts can and will get. And this also applies to other YouTubers' takes on ghost investigations, except for Shane Dawson. But before we get into that, I just gotta say, it's been a minute since I've uploaded. So according to YouTube, that means I don't exist. So if you want to help me prove that I do exist, leave a comment on whether or not you believe in ghosts and explain yourself. But please keep it civil. I don't need a war in the comment section over ghosts. Anyways, back to other YouTubers' takes on ghost investigations. Like I brought up earlier, Danny Gonzalez did his own ghost investigation at the Stanley Hotel. The humility in his version was keeping it as real as possible. And by that I mean he went in not trying to make some spooky ghost TV show, which even Ryan and Shane do, but to see if ghost shows overreact, if you're guaranteed a paranormal activity while you're there. Honestly, the vibe of that video was the exact same as all his other videos. Same type of humor, editing, everything. He just happened to throw in some ghost investigation. This next example is really obscure and specific, and I have so much respect for you if you know what I'm talking about. In Nigahiga's short-lived series, Ryan Tries, Ryan investigated a location that Zach Baggins also investigated. And the humility in Ryan's version was just how ironic he was being with the voiceover, exaggerating the serious and mysterious tone that ghost shows tend to narrate with.
My name is Ryan Higa. I've never believed that these ghost shows were real because they all seem so overly dramatic.
Oh my god, I just got chills. The AC vent is right there. It is crazy how cold it is right here.
And something all three of these investigation shows do that I have yet to see traditional media do, they immediately attempt to, and a lot of the times do, debunk the paranormal occurrence that happened. Whereas I feel a lot of TV shows would immediately move past it and treat it as undeniable ghost evidence.
Rachel claimed she heard the voices of little kids.
I hear kids.
We immediately go lights out and grab the SLS camera.
And it's because of these creators being so willing to insert a little bit of humility is why their take on ghost investigation shows are so much more entertaining than traditional TV will ever be. We start off with a brief explanation of the location the investigation is taking place at. Oh man, how did I not catch that? Oh no, I can't take that seriously. Each new room or setting. And shout out to Ricardo Lujan, a silver tier patron. At this point in time, I'm getting 0 monetization from YouTube. So Patreon is by far the best way to support me and this channel. Different tiers have different benefits, but you are not obligated to do any of them.